All right, well, this is, I swear to God, about half an hour after I uploaded the previous episode. Someone else has already messaged me and said, hey, WP, can you check out my footage? So I guess I will. This is a show where people are sending me PvP footage, and they just want to hear what I think about how they play and what they do. I'm not the best player in the world. My advice is not going to be the ultimate best advice out there, but hopefully there'll be something interesting. Hopefully we'll learn something. The last episode was really fun to do, and since someone's already sent it in, I thought I'd go for this one. So they haven't told me much. They've told me that they're a lapsed player who hasn't played in about 8 months. They used to feel like they were pretty good, but now they've lost their thing, and that this is an early placement for them. They reckon it's probably a gold tier quality queue. Well, we'll see what we think. So let's talk about it. First of all, they are on a Weaver build, and they're on Sword Focus with a Sage Amulet, you can see here. So it looks to me as though they are going for a 1v1 duelist side nodey kind of playstyle. And everything looks really good to me right now. I like the Elite. I like Primordial, which was just buffed. I like even Lightning Flash. You know, they could be running like Signet here, or they could be running Glyph here. I like Lightning Flash, though. I think it's really powerful for escaping. I think it's really powerful for holding on to nodes. It allows you to be a bit looser when it comes to, once you've won your fight, you know, how far away you can rotate off before moving back and holding on to whatever territory you've got. I think it looks good. I like the heal skill. So anyway, yeah, they're Sword Focus. With an Energy Sigil and Annulment. I think those are okay. Perfectly reasonable options. Leadership runes, I think, is a reasonable option. You can run other runes, certainly, but, you know, I'm not going to say that that's too far afield with the Sage Amulet. And as we can see here, they're actually on the Water variant instead of Fire. So you might say that on a variant like this, you might want to go Dagger offhand instead. Focus is really strong, like, for Obsidian Flesh and whatnot, but Obsidian Flesh is kind of node lossy as well. I would rather trade Obsidian Flesh for Updraft, right? Which is also hard mitigation, doesn't last as long. But in an Updraft window, you're not actually getting decapped, right? One of the real strengths of running Focus is if you're actually taking the Fire variant, and then you're getting extra value out of this skill here because it's cleansing and stuff. But, you know, it's okay, right? It's not a perfect build. There's obviously things you can critique, but it's all right. Evasive Arcana. I like all the Arcane selections here. Actually, I think that probably you want to take the bottom trait here in Arcane. This is so much resustain, especially on a Sage Amulet. It's kind of nuts. I think a lot of people don't really appreciate that. He's on the Sword trait. He's on Bolstered Elements. He's taking the Woven Stride Cleanse combo. And, yeah, so 30 seconds till he starts, and we'll see what he does. It's Capricorn, so there is an interesting consideration here. If you are playing this build, looking at his team, he's got, like, a Mirage, right? And he's even got a Soul Beast, but the Soul Beast is probably something glassy. I would let my Mirage take close. I would have my Scourge Hollow Soul Beast at mid, especially if it's like that's a Longbow Soul Beast. Because you get really good lines of sight at mid here. And I would push far here. I really would. I think that you could carry really hard if you push far. However, on this map, it's a very long distance you've got to go. And sometimes you won't get there before they cap the node, which can be some added pressure. But he's got Lightning Flash, so he could get there. I'd L-Flash out the gate and charge to far. That's what I would do. And I'd do the Lightning Flash really early so the cooldown's clean by the time I'm getting close to the node. Instead, he takes close, and they have a really safe open. It's going to be a big team fight in mid there. He's got a decision to make now. As he's capping this, he's watching the fight, okay? And what he's watching is the health bars of his allies, and he's looking to see if they get any downs. Based on how this goes, will dictate what he does against the enemy side noder here. Whether he pushes for the counter, decap, and then the 1v1, or whether he tries to finish mid off. He's doing very well here. I could see he was already mousing over the enemy. Over here, you could see he's got his mouse. He's watching the other. He's probably doing this because he's wondering what his matchup is. He sees he's a Dragon Hunter. He probably thinks I can kill that Dragon Hunter. So now he's like going to be thinking 50-50. Do I actually push for this? Also, you notice his team has taken the node, at least in terms of spacing. There's been no downs yet, but they've managed to push. But everyone's at about half health. This is quite volatile. I actually would probably support mid here, and I'd watch to see what the Dragon Hunter does. Because, listen, if he goes for the decap, this Dragon Hunter's a fresh face with a ton of damage that will swing it in the red team's favor, probably. And we don't want that. So I would probably take the fight in mid. But I can imagine the temptation to come here. Because the other thing he does is, if he pushes here and the Dragon Hunter follows, then that's a good play. Because he also kind of helps mid in that way, right? But when it comes to, like, solo queuing, there's a lot of situations where you're tossing a coin and you're, like, saying, okay, do I trust that my team will win or not win or whatever? Whenever you have the control to swing something in your team's favor, take that control. Don't toss the coins. So here, this is interesting. Downs have started manifesting. Our team's got 2. Their team's got 1. We've pushed pretty deep into their territory. He's just looking for the Dragon Hunter here, who made a very strange play. The Dragon Hunter's been very slow. He went with Gale. Here you go. So the DH now, I think, has made the right choice. He's realized, like, I got to go and I got to burst. I got to score some rallies or something. He goes deep. Tanking the Test of Faith was kind of bad. But he was trying to use the water forward, which, you know, is fine. It's not a big mistake. So the enemy team gets the stomp. I'd be looking over here right now to see what rallies happened. It looks like the guy that's down on the enemy team hadn't tagged this. But taking the mid fight, I think, is perfectly fair. He's been very passive with water there. I think he could have hit harder and done more. He's now thinking this is lost. But what I would actually do is come over here, secure this kill, regroup with these guys. And then I would go far. Because once he's done this, you never know. Your ally might rally once this body goes through. I would make sure that this is clean so we have our 2-cap and then we'd look for whatever's respawning. Here, what he's going to try and do is split their respawns. He's got to get on the node really quickly now. He needs this neutralization before any respawn comes on. He's got that. That's fine. That's not a problem. So this is okay, actually. The respawns are going to have to decide which direction they come. And they're going to be faced with a pretty sturdy blue team. Because this warrior is going to die. Oh, this is interesting. He's leaving. He's only taking the decap. I don't necessarily agree with this from our Weaver. I think he could have held that node. I think he could have sustained anyone respawning. I think he could have been fine. He sees a decap here. I actually completely missed this. I don't know who rotated to do this decap. I didn't have the awareness for that whatsoever. So, actually, I like his play, to tell you the truth, actually. In fact, let's rewind this. I'm actually fascinated by this here. Let's see. We're going to rewind. Okay, so he's pushing here, going for the decap. I think that's fine. Oh, I think what he's doing is he's looking here, and you see this ranger icon? I think he's saying that the ranger, because there's two red players in mid, and he's watching the minimap for mid right now, and he's watching the respawns. Now, because those 2 red players haven't come in here, the thing is, my instinct is that those red players are going to team fight this now. That's my instinct. And look, we've got this respawn that can look for close. Close is not on my mind whatsoever. Look, and now he's leaving already. How's he? I don't know what his tip-off is here. I would hold far. That's what I would do here. But this turns out to be a good play as well. I don't know what his tip-off is that there's a decap coming. But he's charging for it. Maybe you guys in the comments can fill me in. Okay, now in editing, watching this on a full screen window, I can now actually see clearer. He just visually looked across the map towards near Bell, and you can actually just see the ranger moving from mid and crossing. So it's actually a really nice play. He reacts to it very, very quickly. And actually quite impressive, I think, to see that and then immediately see none of your teams moving for it and to cherish close that much that you're going to move from this side point to the other one on one of the widest maps in the game. That's crazy, but he does it very quick and I kind of like the play. And yeah, I like this. He's going to get there in time as well. He can polaric leap forwards. That's not going to get neutralized. He can take this 1v1. This is really good. This is brilliant play. I really like this because what this means is his team's going to win in mids. The enemy team's going to have to wait to recap that. It's very efficient movement. It's quicker to decap than recap. I would have picked that plasma up already, by the way. So if we rewind ever so slightly in this 1v1, there's plasma on the floor and it's been there for ages. I would pick that up. That denies the enemy every boon in the game and multiple synergies. And it gives you every boon in the game. I mean, it's amazing, right? But he just let the enemy pick up the plasma. So that's a bit unfortunate. I think our friend is focused too much on his offense and his cooldowns, which mechanically is brilliant, right? He stacked a ton of bleeds, got lots of burn on there. The plasma didn't even really help. He got a good plus from his holo as well. So he gets the kill. It's a ranger, so obviously he actually does have to pressure this. I would have just stomped and triggered primordial in the middle of the stomp to stomp that out straight away. Another play is, you know, he's Sage, right? Another thing is you can let him try and pet res. And as long as you stand on the node so you're still capping it, you can counter cleave the pet. And you can actually waste the ranger's time, like, really hard. In fact, that looks like the play he's going for. I would just be on the node, though. I would be capping this. This is wasting both of your time at this point. Yeah, so he's very close to making a very efficient play there. And, you know, you can even hold off the DPS a little bit. And a lot of Rangers just don't know what to do. They're not used to players bleeding them for ages because you're just DPSing through their pet and them. And you can definitely do that on this build. You have more than enough. And like, one of the real strengths of a build like this is how heavy it can hit as soon as a down state manifests. How fast you can spike burn pressure. And especially like on focus where the body's not going to move out of the wall. Sorry. Let's rewind ever so slightly again. And talk about his decision making here. So obviously Bell is coming up. His team's won this very clean. The enemy team is now at a point where they're staggered, and Blue basically has the win in their hands as far as I'm concerned right now. If Blue plays perfectly, that's it. They got the win in their hands. The lightning flash is completely unnecessary, and I don't think I would have done. Or in a perfect world, if I was really thinking about everything I was doing. And obviously, he's to Bell too early. What I'd actually be doing is looking for the cross straight away. Now, the reason for that is because we quite handily beat the Soul Beast, all right? So the Soul Beast is on respawn right now. We can push the nodes, and as long as we get the decap, and I think the timing is fine for that, we can then... We know we're in a favored 1v1. I very often, if I win a 1v1, I try and put myself into that 1v1 again, because you know that 100% is like, you can take 33% of the map, right? If you know there's a 1v1 you can win somewhere, and you can force that fight, you alone can take 33% of the map. That's a huge play. So I would angle for that. Also, my team looks healthy enough, so that's what I'd be doing. This guy's swapping with him to go towards the Bell. So yeah, this is unnecessary going here. I would be at far already, I have to say by now. This is all pretty much time wasting. So here's the respawns that we were talking about. This is Spellbreaker and someone else actually. Now, you could say that this is a fine play from this guy because so many of the enemy team are on respawn. To go there alone is suicide, but this is a very, very good build for evading and trolling. This is a great map for climbing around on those boxes. I would take that. I don't think you need to 3v1 here at Bell. I would assist this ally, especially now that I've seen a friend of mine going. In terms of mechanics, though, I'm trying to get a balance of different things. I think his mechanics are fine at the moment. This is very good, you know. They're walking away without... Oh, no, because he's focused. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Everything about that's okay. This DH is playing weird. I think he's too scared. I would push up there. I don't know. For me, I'd hold the two of them. I'd go for it, you know. There's no need, or at the very least, okay, I'd be hitting this, right? I would at the very least be attacking to slow them down and to get them to blow cooldowns before they go to bed. Get to Bell. Get a dodge out of them. Get a heal if you can out of them, so that when they go up there next to your Necro friend, they're putty in his hands, right? This, I think, is, you know, it's all very, very low impact. Obviously, there's a res here. This was a brilliant Polaric Leap. Getting up on the Bell, this was really good. Excellent cleave he can do. It's very nice. Once again, the Ranger is self-resing here. So this has actually kind of worked out amazing in how passive he's been. And this is definitely like a gold tier game, I have to say, from the way everyone's moving. He's got so many targets here. He can absolutely annihilate. He's managed to rotate in perfectly here for the Molten. Oh my god, what's it called? I can't remember. But anyway, this skill and then the Primordial, it's going to be huge. He's got his Elite up as well for the modifier. There's no way they get through this. And so in a way, this is kind of like winning a 2v3, as you can see. It's not really. They force renewed focus and take the Bell early. I'd be leaving already, by the way. I wouldn't be here anymore. This is all time wasting as well. No need to cleave this. Just get out. Even the Scourge ally of his is time wasting at the moment. Definitely Fire is the play right now. You've got a kill and it's been correctly bled. You've got Close has already won. I'm not sure why he's turned around to look here. I'd go Far. Get to Far. Let's do it. Obviously, his Hollow's going there too. But I would go with him. And I would then maybe move around the building to watch the respawns more aggressively. This version of the play is good as well. Coming on this side of the building to watch these respawns and help this guy. This guy bled the body, which is fine. But he never combat reset or he never healed. So actually, his play was probably a little bit better because this guy's low. Maybe, you know, maybe he's looked at the party and he sees this target. My ally is low and he's going to need help. So going to mid. So this is a very good play. This kind of is a bit of a free win game, really. So I don't think there's actually many difficult decisions to make. Face tanking the full Axe 5 is okay there because they're both trading damage, right? Like the Soul Beast is tanking a ton of damage and I'm tanking a ton of damage, right? Me being the Weaver. But the Weaver gets to apply way, way, way more. Again, I'd be looking for the Plasma here. I would have picked that up. What actually tipped me off to say that in the commentary there was not that I'd seen Plasma. It's just, you kind of would have had a feel that he probably had a dropped item somewhere. So I thought I would look on the node for plasma. And as I said that out loud while recording this video, I see that there's plasma on the floor. And still, I'd pick this up. I would have been scared that that guy was picking it up. And again, just walked over it for free. Again, this is another pet res. Okay, so this is kind of a complicated situation here. I would probably twist of fate on this stomp. I would do that straight away because I'm scared of this rally or whatever, and I just want this dealt with as quick as possible. It's not the highest value Twist of Fate, but the Twist of Fate gives you stab, right? So I would just do that. I mean, he goes for the cleave, and he saves a really high-powered cooldown, so his version of the play is very respectable too. This guy's low, so I would actually come looking for pills here. I wouldn't just tank damage from this Mirage for no reason. I'd come over here, I'd give him, like, Water 2 and maybe Earth 2, like, and swap into Water near him. So, because don't forget, he's Water, right? So he gets Healing Ripple. So I would sustain this guy and try and peel for him. And then if the Mirage comes on the node, Lightning Flash back towards it. That's what I would do. Here, he's like tanking on the node, which is fine. Like, his role is kind of to hold nodes, right? But there's no need to right now because no enemy is on the node. Yeah, there are enemies nearby, but no enemies on it. And look, even when this guy comes on, his friend's going to move on with him, right? So everywhere that the Weaver's standing right now, it could be better. And just taking... By the way, the enemy Mirage, like, taking this as his target, the enemy Mirage is making a much worse play. He recognizes the danger very quickly. He peels out. Here, we're looking for a Riptide forwards and then Magnetic Wave in the middle. That would be really, really saucy if he did that. Yeah, he basically did it a little bit later than I would have thought. But he's moving back in. His direction's good. Going for the Obsidian Flesh res is really nice as well. I'd be careful of CI right now, so I'd probably start stowing. He sustains it, hoping for the rally. Okay, so I really like this play as well here, so let's just rewind slightly. He's going for this red. He's sustaining this because the enemy's we got a down on the enemy, right? So you're hoping that just they get that stomp through and this guy rallies, and you don't want to tank much damage, and while you're rezzing, you're just bait for a Daze Mantra or whatever, or a Chaos Storm. So pulling away I really like, and I like the idea of just getting this, and that will rally the guy. However, the problem here is that, first of all, it's very low value Twist of Fate there. I don't think you really needed to do that. That might just come as a consequence of not really knowing what Mesmer can do. I mean, you're maybe at risk of a magic bullet there, maybe, but then you Twist of Fate after the magic bullet, right? There's no need to do it early. It's just, there's no value there. But anyway, back to this. The stomp does go through, however, our friend hasn't got a tag on it, so there's no rally. But basically, we're positioned perfectly right now. We have a 3-cap, and we're just fighting them as they come out. Someone does want to cross and, like, watch this eventually. Basically, you just want to push and clench the jaws around them and just win the game, basically. The game is already really won. What did I say at the start of this video? There was a big sign of it. There, he got a lucky Polaric Leap interrupt on a heal. I don't think that was deliberate. But here you go. So just as I said a second ago, to get over here, he's doing it. He wants to be on that node and hold it neutral. So lightning flashing forward is a great play, especially through the barrage is really nice. Dodge roll might have been nice there because it's a ranger, is going to point blank shot. You know he's on the thing, but whatever. Or opening with Primordial as well to get that early stability. I would put swirls up already. I would swirl before the Polaric Leap. Maybe doing it in the other order is pretty nice as well because the swirls will now cover the node fully. But I would be prioritizing that, especially since he's on Signet of Stone. The swirls just stop Axe, right? Like, which is really annoying. Also, his other set has a longbow on it. Here, he's like fleeing off the node with Twist of Fate and stuff. Thing is, the Ranger can't do any damage now that the Swirling Winds is up, so I'd ignore it. Plasma on the floor again, by the way. And I'd pick that up. But I wouldn't come in this direction at all, to tell you the truth. I would be looking towards the crates. In fact, let's see. Let's rewind ever so slightly. Obviously, so we come onto the nodes. He hasn't moved his camera in a way so that he can see any new respawns, right? So this +1, this -1, this here. This is actually really dangerous. You would want to have glanced the camera over there a little bit earlier so that this isn't so scary. But luckily, the enemy doesn't pressure very much. Just drops a trap. And then the third player... So this is kind of interesting. This guy's leaving. This guy like made a dead rotation, but now I think the red team has panicked and thought, oh god, we're zerging. So they're all leaving, but this is a mistake from the enemy team, right? So at this moment here, when I see they're both leaving, I wouldn't do anything except continue to pursue this fight. But they're both leaving. I think what's happening here is he's like, oh god, I'm outnumbered, so he's trying to leave. And his instinct is to leave to regroup with his allies, but it's through all of them. I'd be on crates, and I'd hold them at the crates. Because we're only just getting started here. The fire's just getting cooking. We've got cooldowns ready still. Anyway, so I don't agree with any of this. Especially not walking over the plasma. I'd be over on this here. And just hold them. Just hold them. And look at our team. They just 4v1'd. They basically get Bell for free here. In fact, that's probably why everyone's zerging off, because of Bell. Bell is not the main concern, I think, of the red team right now. I mean, to an extent it is, but they have to get back on the map and they have to get kills. So, I mean, coming back here for the Bell is an okay play as well. But I think your role here is not a team fighter. I think your role is to hold that. Because what's going to happen... you got to think about it this way, guys. You've come here for the team fight, fine. But that's also freed all of them to come from the team fight. You're better in the small engagements. And you can force the small engagements. So stay over there. That's what I would do. I don't like how slow their engineer has been, by the way. Since everyone's back. But anyway, we get the kills at Bell. Lots of damage. And this basically wins the game. There's a random stealth on the ground. You could ignore that one. Very nice mechanical execution here, by the way. Getting the might procs. Like, that's a lot of might he just gave his team out of the things. A nice little blowout from an ally here as well. And with this Bell, they're going to win the game. So I would actually just force that. The entire blue team ran off now. I think this guy's playing very, like, chase, very aggressive, very team fightery. Instead of, like... Like, I would never be here. I never would have chased this. I would have said, all right, this is my node now, the Bell, and that's the one that wins the game. And I would have just stayed there. I don't care if this gets decapped here. And if they keep trickling in on a team fight that we're obviously winning, we win by kill points too, you know. Anyway, there you go. Bell wins, and there you have it. So I liked a lot of the gameplay there. I thought it was really solid. I think where my decisions were different, it was, you know, not necessarily that mine would have been slightly better. It was a pretty easy game, though. I would say if you guys have easy games, maybe it's better to show me hard games. Or games where you lost and you wonder, maybe I could have won. Those are probably going to be the better ones. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see. And I would have liked to see like I guess you kind of had 1v1 with like the Soul Beast. Boom Beast isn't in the best place, sort of, at the moment. I mean, it kind of can be. It depends on the player. But yeah, so cool game. Thanks very much for showing it to me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, if you want to show me some footage, any footage, just either upload it as a YouTube video and unlist it, or put it on your Google Drives, guys, and send me a link to it. Cheers, everyone. See you next time.